The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. The true light that enlightens every man was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made through him. Yet the world knew him not. He came to his own home, and his own people received him not. But to all who received him, who believed in his name, he gave power to become children of God. Our young audience have been asking for this meditation, and if it can help children pray, it can help anybody. Since you, Lord, said to us, unless you turn and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever humbles himself like a child, he is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. It is late at night and it is dark. The streets of Bethlehem are now quiet and still. Joseph has done his best to adapt a stable into a place where Mary can rest before the baby comes. Some animals had to be sent out to a different stable, noisy and stinky. Some complained a bit, but there was no room for negotiation today. Jesus is going to be born here, and the baby needs a quiet place. Mary rests near the fire. She's not sleeping there. She's recollected in prayer, caressing her tummy with a peaceful smile on her beautiful face. Joseph is not that peaceful. Seeing the Mother of God sitting in the corner of a stable and about to give birth to the Son of the Creator, that troubles Joseph. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, Joseph doesn't understand. Why would God, the Creator of the universe, send his Son to be born in a stable? Even the poorest mother in Bethlehem has a house where she can give birth, but not Mary. Joseph sees that Mary is at peace. He smiles at her and says he's going to fetch some water from the well. That's the only thing they need now in that stable where they have nothing, but they've got everything. For having God there is having everything, isn't it? Mary reassures her husband and lets him go because everything is all right. And Joseph knows it is. He can't see them, but he feels the powerful presence of the angels there. He can't see him, but Gabriel is there. Even Saint Michael is keeping watch at the entrance. Joseph can't see, but he knows there is no safer place on earth today. So he takes 2 water pots and disappears behind the curtain of the entrance. It is windy out there and cold. The wind plays its music while softly swaying the trees. But there is nobody around. It is too late, too dark, too cold for people to be wandering about. Everybody seems to be at home, dining there with their families, warm and safe. You can hear voices coming from a house nearby. But other than that, it really is a silent night. Only animals dare to be out at this time of night. Crickets, birds, dogs barking in the distance. It all seemed so natural, so peaceful. Joseph passes by a flock of sheep which suddenly stop grazing, raise their heads and look at him. Weird. It almost seems as if they knew. Joseph can't stop thinking, why are his people so cold? Why is it that they didn't offer a place for Mary to give birth? If they knew, if they only knew who was going to be born. But they can't see yet. They have been praying for centuries for this day. Prophets and patriarchs have been talking endlessly about this day. In the synagogue, the words of their psalms have been sung in anticipation of this day. Nobody has been awaited with greater eagerness. No one has been more ignored. A few paces from the well, Joseph shivers. Why is it so cold tonight? Why are the hearts of men so cold? If they only knew. If they only knew that their prayers had been answered. If they only knew that God had sent them their expected Messiah. If they only knew that God didn't send someone else, but He had come Himself. If they only knew that their days of toil were about to be over, their miseries were about to be banished, their sins about to be forgiven, their sufferings about to be transferred to someone else, the Son of God, who would take them on His shoulders and place them at the pinnacle of Calvary. If they knew what was about to take place, a few yards from their homes, quietly during their rest. But Joseph's thoughts were suddenly interrupted. What was it? The night fell silent. The wind had suddenly stopped. The trees stood still. Birds went silent. And then it happened. That was it. The sound of salvation. It was the sign of victory. The cry of a baby filled angels with joy and devils with terror. The cry that shook creation. The cry that changed the world forever. It was the proof of God's might, the fulfillment of His promise. It was the signal for hope, the end of everything old, the beginning of everything new. The sound became clearer and clearer, louder and louder. For some mysterious reason, that cry could be heard all over the village. It was the only sound that could be heard. Joseph started running back. He ran as he had never run before. He rushed like a mountain torrent, hurrying through the streets of Bethlehem. People started poking their heads out of the windows, asking themselves, what was that? Who was that? They started flooding the streets, bewildered. What's going on? Some of them followed Joseph. Some of them stayed warm at home, as it always happens. When Joseph entered the stable, it was now a home. The baby cradled in his mother's arms, in peace. Those who came in a bit later found the couple smiling and in tears. the baby now in the arms of Joseph. And in that silent night, those who came in could hold the baby and kiss him. All the rest were warm at home, still wondering what had just happened. And you, where do you want to be tonight? Why don't you come with me tonight and hold the baby and kiss him and pray in adoration? I give you thanks, my God, for the good resolutions, affections and inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask you for help to put them into effect. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.